welcome to ADTV, and today we've come down to Chapel Lakes in Rowton, and I'm joined by Mark Wheeler. Now correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but you're a PhD researcher from Essex University and studying PTSD.
That's right.
Excellent. So I guess the starting point is, can you explain a little bit just about what PTSD is?
Yeah, well, PTSD is a set of symptoms that someone would pick up after experiencing a really traumatic event. So it's a natural response to an unnatural situation. So for example, if someone was to be in a situation where they felt in fear of their life or fear of being harmed, this could be the subsequent set of symptoms that might pick it up and stuff.
So real dramatic things happened and that triggers it off. And
it could be anything. It could be something from a road traffic accident to an assault, or then of course we're here today with military veterans, so a lot of their trauma would be combat related.
But so that's worth mentioning, it's not just military related, is it? There's other situations where this can happen as well.
Yeah, and it can be it's very subjective. So some people can have what other people might think of really minor traumas, you know, a very small car accident, you know, just a couple of bumpers hitting. But for that person, at that moment, it was equally as traumatic.
Yeah, exactly. So how did you first get involved with it?
Well, I work for the NHS. I'm a high-intensity psychological therapist for the NHS. And the region I work in Colchester is a super garrison town. So we have a lot of military veterans there, and I work as treating trauma. So that's where my first interest came from, PTSD. And what I've done subsequently is look to increase my awareness of it and look to go off and do some research into maybe ways I can look at improving treatment.
So that's a little bit about work. So the work you do, obviously we're here today, you've got a few people out fishing. Is that the only type of thing you do with them, or is there other branches you've tried to get into?
We've done a few, and we took the guys horse riding, when I say horse riding, more of an equine experience. They spent a day at the stables, sort of mucking out, feeding the horses, grooming, and then they were interacting with the horses. They got ridden round. We did that as one study. We did a day's falconry and archery, and we did angling as well. All three worked. All three had a really positive effect. However, the angling seemed to have a slightly more beneficial effect on them, and also seemed to hold a little bit longer. When we followed up subsequently afterwards, it seemed to have an effect for a longer period. So that's where we've concentrated our work from there on. Yeah,
it's nice to see that fishing can not really get him. We were just chatting earlier and you said that someone's never been fishing before, he's seen a carp top and he's instantly there, excited. And
it's really exciting. The guy you're talking about is over the other side, and he has never been before. He came, first thing he said this morning was, I'm not worried about the fishing, I just want to come have a chat with everybody. But now he's really keen, really excited. He's seen a couple of carp roll near his bait, and with fingers crossed that he catches one. But but it's really nice to see that enthusiasm.
To get him out, get him for you. Hopefully it helps all the building to get used to it. Okay. So do you work with anyone else? Obviously you're doing a bit of work with Ang Direct and Craft to Catcher I've seen on there.
Well, we're at the university. I'm doing a PhD, researching into the benefits of it. And we've been running these studies on a regular basis, so we've worked with quite a few people. Angling Direct have been fantastic. They made an enormous donation of tackle earlier this year, which the guys are using, as you can see in the background. They're all, because of the weather, they're all bivvied up, and there was beds and chairs and bivvies and landing nets, you name it, we were given it by you guys. And also, of course, this is your lake. So you've lent us the use of the lake, which is fantastic. We've worked very much with the Warren fishery down in South Essex. They've been very kind, let us fish there on several occasions. And we've also, we linked in with Craft to Catcher, as you mentioned. They've been giving us bait and stuff, so it's been very positive, very positive. Lots of people wanted to help.
Excellent. I suppose just to finish off, I think we're going to have a walk around and perhaps chat to a few more people. But just if I was to say, what was like the main aim that you're trying to achieve with these days out in that, could you summarise your main?
Well, notoriously military veterans are difficult to engage in more formal therapy. So the idea of getting them into book them in to see a therapist or see a psychologist or a psychotherapist is problematic, and they don't always engage. what we found is if we put them in this situation, what they're doing really is one of the major elements of what they would be getting anyway if they went to see a therapist, and that's kind of exposure to the trauma, or talking about the trauma. I mean, you've probably heard the guys sitting chatting.
I have, yeah.
And they're quite comfortable to do that amongst their peers, amongst the group of, fellow veterans who've experienced similar things. And of course, being outdoors. The benefits of being outdoors have been well documented.
Do you think they're much more open rather than sort of sitting down in the room to bring them outside, bit of fishing, get everything related?
I mean, the
therapy
fishing
works better.
The fishing really, and fishing is secondary. It's about them sitting and talking, but the fishing works superbly well. The reason we think it works slightly better than the others, I think I mentioned to you earlier, is if we set them up in individual bivvies, they can sort of interact at their own pace. So if they want to sit back in and
just take that moment away.
Take a moment away. If it's all getting a little bit too much, they've got that option, almost like having a little cave they can disappear into and then come back. So the fishing lends itself very, very well to it, and the results have been really impressive.
Excellent. Well, it's great to see obviously our sport and everyone helping you is hopefully making an effect. Like I said, we'll perhaps have a walk around and hopefully you can introduce us some other people and have a chat with them and see what a real difference it's making to people who've actually experienced it and are going through it. And, hopefully we'll catch up with you a bit and see what we can see.
Perfect. So now we're with Jim. Jim is one of our mentors that comes along and helps out now, having been through the studies himself. Jim, tell us a little bit about your role and how you think that's important for us.
Well, I think being able to introduce new people into fishing, I mean, after finding it such a high value recuperation for myself, introducing other people and being able to help them is a bonus. If they can achieve something out of it that I achieved, then I think it's a win-win situation.
Because we ought to tell the guys, you came along, hadn't been sleeping very well for a long time. Slept really well, and you're quite a keen angler now.
Yeah, love it. Try and get out as much as I can, obviously work permitting, but to me it's better than sitting at home doing nothing and stewing. Where I don't sleep at home. Here I could go 20 hours straight and not batter an eyelid.
So, and what about being amongst the other guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got that camaraderie and the banter and having the fact that everybody's an ex-serviceman does make life a lot easier because they're more approachable. So for me, I can't go and just talk to any old civvy, but I can go and talk to a veteran because they understand what I'm saying.
So that's an important element to it.
Exactly.
Okay. And being sort of included, coming back in as a mentor, what has that meant to you?
That's actually meant quite a lot. The fact that the study itself has put some trust into me and actually feels that maybe I have taken a step forward in my life, and I like to think I have.
Good.
Because of the fishing. It certainly has helped, giving me that time to sort of process the PTSD and why I act the way I do sometimes and things like that. Obviously, it doesn't give me the full explanations, but it does. It's a coping strategy.
Okay, good.
And that's something that we need. Bearing in mind, it's something that's not a cure. You'll never get rid of PTSD. It's learning to cope with it.
Okay. So I'll let you get on because I noticed that you haven't caught anything yet.
Well,
thanks very much.
Debatable.
So we've had a walk around, we spoke to a few very interesting people, Mark, I must admit, and I'd like to say to start with thanks for letting us come down here, because it has been a real eye-opener to me personally. Not only that angling itself can become a real therapy and really help people to move forward, and some of the stories I've heard, I can't personally imagine it, but I know you deal with a lot of people like this all the while.
Yeah, we do, and I mean obviously some of the stories you can't put over the TV, but you've heard them yourself, and they're quite tragic. So some of these guys have got some really difficult things to overcome. this is certainly helping.
It is, and great work you're doing. It absolutely
Thank
brilliant. So, when we're going to leave you, you think you've got another day of this? They're going to stay down here, aren't they? All night fishing hard and away. Hopefully, catch some more fish. But yeah, we're gonna head off. But like I said, thanks. And just a quick one: can anything do anything for you to help you push forward, raise awareness?
Well, if anyone's watched this, anybody who's a military veteran might be suffering with PTSD and would like to, perhaps think about taking part. If you give me an email, send me an email direct to me, and we can discuss that. Maybe they can come along and try it themselves.
Excellent. Well, from having seen what you've done, and like I said, the interaction, just the lift everyone feels around, I think it's well worth it. If you feel it would be something that would help you, definitely give you a contact and see what it's like. But so we're going to head off.
Nice.
Much appreciated for letting us down. Really enjoyed it.
Good.
And perhaps we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Excellent. Cheers.
Bye bye.